I do believe when you talk about the re-election campaign, having those critical relationships is important because you have to know the mood. You have to know what people are saying, because the reality is the president and his staff, they're operating in a bubble. They frankly know less about the mood of the country now than they did when they actually were running for the campaign.
Right. Yeah, your outreach. I'm sorry, go ahead, Chrissy.
You're so right about that. I mean, the president is black, but he doesn't come into contact with regular folk, black, white, or brown. He is isolated in the White House. And let me say one thing about, not only is it important for him to have more people in the White House who know black voters well, but I think one of the things that so many members of the CBC miss is having somebody around like Bill Clinton, who was such a people person.
Yeah, he worked the room.
He worked the room, and the president came into the Black Caucus dinner just before his speech and left the room pretty quickly. He doesn't hang around to schmooze with people.
And I'll be honest,
even that would be appreciated.
And I'll be honest, you know, they didn't have a rope line last year. They had one this year, but what was interesting was he worked the line, but I also watched how First Lady Michelle Obama worked the line. And so she took a lot more time. It was interesting because he had to come back and say, okay, Michelle, it's time to go, and actually cut it short. But it was just interesting watching the dynamics in terms of how you work it, because at the end of the day, you're the president. People want to believe that you're a regular guy. We can touch and feel you, and that's just that's a part of politics.
Is this the first lady who this week went to Target?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, so maybe I think the president ought to have a conversation with the first lady and say, baby, how do you do it? Well, we'll go to the next topic, and we call it with you. I'm just saying. I interviewed him. I said, I'll be honest with you, she gives a better speech than you do. Right. Because, again, it's a different dynamic.
We've always said that the president is much more professorial, and that Mrs. Obama has always been the people person in the relationship.
But you know what? But the reality is, we all have wives that our people love. I mean, you know.
Yeah, but she really is good at what she does.
And he knows that.
Absolutely.
I mean, he recognizes that.